Going on trips internationally gives you a different outlook on things.
Everything from the roads to the houses to the way people treat each other was different than the US and everything I'd ever known.
The first week we did a lot of sightseeing. We went to a museum, we went to a art gallery place, we went to a slave castle.
Sights, the sounds, everything that we experienced by far was life-impacting, life-changing.
A phrase in Ghana would be, Ghana is cocoa and cocoa is Ghana.
We went to different cocoa farms and we planted shade trees as well as cocoa plants.
They work very hard, the farmers especially growing the cocoa.
We learned a lot about how you do the farming and how you do the different types of planting.
Everything in Ghana is really impacted by cocoa. And as long as they're producing it, manufacturing it, exporting it, they will be living good. I just feel as though we're very similar to that because here in Milton Hershey School, we also are impacted from the manufacturing, the selling, and producing of chocolate. So I feel as though we can relate to them in that aspect, but I feel as though we should live life like them.
People of Ghana have a greater sense of humanity.
I honestly think of them as the nicest people I've ever met.
We would drive by and they would run up to us waving, smiling.
How happy they were. They don't have a lot and they're happy.
You'd go walking down the streets and people would say, good morning, good afternoon, hi, how are you?
It was different being with a totally different culture.
And they'd actually want to have conversations with you.
They were all so kind, so genuine. They were so happy about life.
They live life so pure, and they are very appreciative of the little things that they have.
They like family. They're all together in a community.
And it was just so warm and it's so different.
They didn't really let the smallest things affect them.
When things go wrong, they all help out each other as neighbors.
How open they were and trusting and easygoing everyone was. They didn't really have any prejudice against us.
Many of our students have gone through and have grown up in difficult situations and in poverty.
It makes me feel really blessed because I realized that what I was born into wasn't the greatest, but what I can make of myself is better.
In Ghana, you don't see a lot of the more opportunity you have here in the USA.
But certainly our poverty is much different compared to the poverty there in Africa.
Most of their houses are mud huts with thatch roofs.
And you could tell which was wealthier if they had cement versus the mud.
They're worried about having food at all and clean water.
We would be shocked to ever have to even think about living in such conditions.
Here in the USA, we are so privileged and a lot of us just take it for granted. Going to Ghana, it developed my character a lot. It made me more humble and allowed me to see the actual bigger picture.
I've become a much different person. I'm much more calm.
It just made me to want to motivate myself better.
The interactions with people made me realize that all these borders and divisions that we have are not so real.
I've taken many groups to Africa before, but by far this is my favorite experience with these students.
I'm fulfilled, a desire of mine to really get to know some adults here on campus as well as students. Spend time laughing and enjoying our time together.
I won't be the same when I feel as though I will be a lot more mature.
I think it was really a great opportunity to kind of close off the rest of the world and really connect with the kids on that deeper level and to know them as the full people that they are.
And I think if I could sum up this entire experience with one word, it would be humbling.
Eye-opening.
Well, it was very shocking.
Fulfilling.
Unique.
I would have to say motivating.
Empowering.
It was an amazing experience that can't ever be described by one word, in my opinion.
I learned so much from the people and the way they live and how they act that I can't wait to implement that into my own life.
And I'm just so grateful for it.